The V-42 Devil's Brigade Dagger. We are going to take a look at the Marbles replicated version right here on The Sharpest Edge.
You got the sharpest edges I've ever seen, and every time my hands get careless, you make me bleed. I'm caught up, down, and in between, 'cause you got the sharpest edges I've ever seen. Don't hurt me.
What is up, knife community? This is Blade Love coming at you from The Sharpest Edge, and you are with me in the man cave. And today we are going to take a look at the Devil's Brigade and the Marine Raiders V-42 knife. And this thing is, without a doubt, I definitely would not want to be on the business end of either of these two ends. But before we get into it, let's check out the music montage, which actually is more of a speech montage with some pictures this time. So let's check it out.
Welcome to the 1st Special Service Force. There's only one really important thing to know and remember about the force. It's the easiest combat unit in the Army to get out of. All you have to do is fail to measure up. You'll be returned immediately to your former unit or predicament. It's entirely up to you.
So there are quite a few companies that make a replica V-42 because obviously a lot of people will not spend the thousands of dollars you have to get the original one. But this particular one is made by the Marbles Knife Company. And what's really interesting is I'm going to read this part of the box to you because it's very fascinating in its information. The narrow V-42 stiletto blade profile was designed to optimize penetration on thrusting. It could easily penetrate a GI steel helmet and liner with a single thrust. With its relatively thin, narrow blade, the V-42 was designed from the onset for a use as a fighting knife, and the V-42's twin edges were double hollow ground for increased cutting performance. The skull-crushing pommel allowed non-slashing combat, and the thumb groove on the V-42's Ricasso promoted a flat groove with the thumb stud over the crossguard, which positioned the double-edged blade horizontally. The V-42 was first carried into combat in World War II by the Devil's Brigade, and of course, my favorite, the Marine Raiders. It is still revered today. So when you first open this box, I was pleasantly surprised to see the quality of the blade. There we go. And it comes packaged like this. And of course, there's a blade cover on the V-42 blade here. And it's a really sweet looking blade. Double-edged, really sweet hilt, leather stacked handles, pommel on the back. We'll be taking a close-up look at the blade shortly. It also came with the period original sheath. Could you imagine wearing this on your uniform, where this attaches to your belt and it lops down low? I mean, it's a long sheath. It's a pretty nice quality from Marbles too. I didn't expect such a nice leather sheath from them, but you know, unfortunately the replication is made in China, but it's a very nice quality piece. So let's take a closer look, shall we? It really is a nice quality V-42 replica. Double-edged, finely shaped. The hilt's beautiful. The handle is nice. And that pommel just makes you think that you definitely don't want to be hit with that for sure. The stacked leather handle is really nice. It's just a well-made replica, and I just find it so hard to believe that it could penetrate a GI steel helmet from World War II and liner, but there are historical accounts on that. exact same thing happening. And just thinking about how this is worn on the uniform and how much space there is between the actual dagger insert and the base of the sheath is just kind of crazy. But I have to give my hand to Marble, and they did a great job with this replica. So whether or not you're into the history of World War II, the Devil's Brigade, and the Marine Raiders, this is a very cool piece to have in your collection. I'm really have been into daggers lately, and I actually will be doing a review on another dagger after this one. But I just wanted to take my good old time to just show this beauty off. And these range under $50. You can get them. I've seen them for $45, $39. Wherever you can get them, they are definitely worth the price. So that will be it for this video. I'll be back in a few moments with some final thoughts. I have to laugh because it seems that my interests in particular groups of knives comes and goes as I finish a certain part, or what I feel is a finishing part of that particular section of my collection. Then I talk to someone in the knife community, they say, yo, Blade, check out this knife here. And they send me a link, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And I go flying into that section. Before you know it, I am on this particular blade part and doing all the kind of reviews for daggers and such, and I'm loving it. I love to hear from the community. Every single time I talk to someone in the community, I end up buying a knife that I found that they had recommended or suggested. And it is hilarious because I was just joking with one of the community members today on my YouTube channel that, we're going to go broke if we keep, referring each other to knives, because apparently he and I have very similar tastes on knives, and it shows because I buy a lot of the ones he recommends, and I know a lot of my folks buy the knives that I recommend. And it's just not for sales profits of companies or anything like that. Like I said millions of times before, I don't get any kickbacks. I don't get any rewards, bonuses, or whatever you would call it. I'm not even monetized to do this. I just enjoy it because it is a love, blade love. So that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me in the man cave and watching this particular video. This has been Blade Love from The Sharpest Edge, and always remember, be good to yourselves, but especially be good to one another out there. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
You got the sharpest edges I've ever seen.